Good afternoon. My name is Lillian Werimo. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I work with children, adolescents, couples, whole families in the room, and individuals. As such, I'm very passionate about men. I've done a lot of work with men navigating different seasons and transitions of life. And this being a very special month for men, June is the Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. We are doing a series. And you've been watching some of the content we've been sharing. And as such, I'm joined by one of my guests who is holding a very special place as far as participating in this because of his age. I don't know if he's okay talking about his age, but I did not have many people in his age bracket willing to engage in such conversations. And so I'm very happy and privileged to have you on the show. And I'll tell you about the topic we're discussing with him, but I'll first let him introduce himself and what he does.
Thank you very much. I am a young man approaching his 30s. That's his age, I guess. A Gen Z,
we can work with that. Yes.
But yes, my name is Moses Kakoa. I'm a young, vibrant man. I always say that I live with a simple vision, which is to challenge mindsets and disrupt the norms of societies. I've been there. Otherwise, I'm a communication specialist, and I look forward to an amazing conversation again to disrupt norms and challenge mindsets. Today with you, Dr.
Asante. Yeah. And I love that you are very big on transforming lives. You know, you're using your stories, not being shy about your struggles and your wins. And I do believe a lot of people in your age bracket look up to you. Maybe they don't even verbalize that, but based off the things you do, even in the social spaces, I feel like you're such a force to reckon with. I can't wait to see who you are in another 5-10 years, you know?
I look forward to that as well.
Yeah.
I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Karibu.
Yes.
And the topic for today is a bit sensitive.
Yeah.
And feel free to not answer any question or to reframe if the question feels a bit different. Okay. And it's because it touches on a personal story. So the topic for today's conversation is the impact of father absence on manhood, community, and career development. And thanks for agreeing to have this conversation with me. Yeah. Yes. So tell us a little bit about yourself, the work you do as a communications and partnerships specialist.
A little bit about myself. So I grew up in upcountry. We call it Shags.
Okay.
I grew up in Shags. I'm a young guy. All I probably grew up seeing is people seeing the ultimate of life, to buying a border after Form 4 and getting married and building that nice house over there. But I also grew up with a teacher. My mother is a teacher. And she used to say, she used to beat us up actually teaching us. She was a teacher of English, and she used to say, "Mimi sielewa watoto ushago," you know. She'd always say, "We live in Nairobi one day, so I want you to learn a bit of the Queen's language," and she would teach us that. And at that time, you know, it's basic. You not see much about it, but you grow up and realize a software was instilled in you. But I would say that's the kind of environment I grew up in. I have two brothers. I'm the last born of our family. There was a father in the picture with a bit of complications there, and gonna get to that with time. And then I grew up, and of course you do high school, and you're called to campus. I do my undergrad in economics. And then I get to workspace, and after a while, I'm like, whatever I'm doing, I can't do this anymore. I'm a good communicator. I do speak well. I engage people well, based on feedback. And also, I think sometimes you also know a bit of your natural skills. And that's what I set out to start doing. So out of that has birthed public speaker. It has also birthed moderator. And currently, I lead communications and partnerships engagement in the organization I work for.
Well done.
Thank you.
That's so much for someone who is not even 30 yet.
Yes.
Hence my applause to what you keep doing and how you keep challenging yourself, because that calls for a lot of expansion. You know, it's very easy to get into a comfort zone, you know.
Yeah.
You seem like someone who does not pause.
There's
looking for more challenge.
Yeah, there's more. Get out there and experience it in every possible way.
Amazing. That is awesome. So what was your experience growing up without per se a father figure? I know he was there. Again, as I said, this is a safe space. If the question does not feel comfortable answering, you don't have to. Yeah.
You know, the thing about growing up without a father figure is, I always say, you do not realize the effect of it when you're young. Because unlike, I say nowadays, you know, kids, they'll meet in school and they're going to be like, my dad this, my dad the other. They'll talk a bit more. I feel like nowadays the engagement in school is a bit more than when you were growing up. Also, when you were growing up, you are not allowed to say those things in school or talk about it. So you don't feel the effect of it as much. You notice it on visiting days that their family is with the father, and there's one that has come with a gas and they're making food there. You notice those little tiny bits. But I think when you're young, you don't really comprehend it. Now, when I was in my teenagehood is when it started hitting. Because the thing about that point is the society starts interpreting you as a man. And you suddenly notice you have no idea what being a man
Means.
entails.
Yeah.
You see, if the father is there, not there, it basically means you've grown up with a single mother. Now, typically, she's gonna make you your friend. So you grow up around taking a few more traits that are not precisely very manly, the neatness and all these things that is a bit on the extreme side of it. And it's in my teenage years when I started noticing, oh, I do not know how to even talk to ladies. You know, like fathers will, like, I wasn't introduced to that environment of men, or I started noticing, all they say this was the most interesting one, when my friends would talk about Christmas and they're doing, especially the ones from Central Kenya, the katufu thing with the kathing.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't know how to do these things. Like, I don't know how to slaughter a goat, but put me in the kitchen, I'm gonna do some amazing stuff. And I'd say that's a point I started noticing there's something missing. I don't know how to do some of these very so-called manly duties, what leadership entails, what man in the society is supposed to do, because, you know, my image is more created by my mother, so that's all that I know.
Okay.
Yes.
And we celebrate mothers who take up the double role.
That we do.
Yes,
That we do.
the fact that I'm sure it wasn't, you know, nobody
Easy.
gets into families, gets children with the intention of raising these children alone.
That's true.
So your mom, wherever she is, we celebrate her today, and we say she did an amazing job because she played double roles in raising her three sons.
And she did amazing. Look at me years later. I always tell her she stood the test of time.
Amazing,
she did a good job.
amazing.
Yes.
We celebrate that. Great. So at what point did you begin to realize that the absence of a father had shaped parts of your life?
At that point where it starts happening that the things you just don't, they're not natural to you. You know, typically, if in the presence of, like, we are driving and a car breaks down and I'm the man, I'm supposed to rush, start changing the tires and all these things. You see, it's almost very natural if you're trained that. But for me, I grew up with a mother. She's a soft girl. That happens, you're like, nani anakuja kufix kitu, like, because it's not me. Like, we don't do that
Yes,
here. Because that's what you grew up seeing. And your friends are like, but wanaume wafanyangi hivyo. And I remember, and this is very interesting because I also want to comment on what you mentioned about single mothers who take up both roles. I remember my mother and I used to go a lot to salon together, go for events together. And so you begin doing pedicure and manicure and all those things. Now, currently, people are a bit more open to it.
To it, yes, not then.
5-6 years ago, they were like, but what are you doing?
It's like a taboo.
It's a taboo.
Correct.
And you see at that moment, you start feeling a certain kind of, what do men
do? Yeah.
I thought it's normal. Can we talk about, football? I never played any sport. Be it football, volleyball, F1, like all these things that people are brought to. Like, I'm sure you have men around, you're going to talk about these things.
Yeah.
But me, I'll tell you the latest restaurant in town or what food has been made. So it's that disparity where there's a societal connotation of it, and yourself you start noticing there are things that you're short of. I would say that's the point it started hitting me. There are things that have a bit of a problem. And on the concept, I wanted to comment on what you said about single mothers, because I salute them. But I think one thing I always say, and probably we'll come to this later, for any single mother is, in as much as you can, try to get a father figure for your male child. I don't talk about the female child a lot. I've not gone much into that, but for the male child, not your husband. Because every time I say that to a lady, they're like, I don't want to get married. I'm like, no, you can get a father figure. It's very tricky in today's society, but if you can get a father figure for them to walk with them, yes, because even emotionally there's a gap you feel, and you see, that's the other thing I would say. I could feel a gap, but I couldn't explain what it is. But it's a gap of validation by other men. Like, hey guys, I'm also a part of you. I know I don't know these things, but I'm a dude as well, you know. I know nothing about Arsenal and Man U going to a game, but I'm still a man.
I love what you're saying, and that speaks about the aspect of a child is not raised by one parent or two parents.
Yes.
A child is raised by a community,
Yes.
and so the role of that community is to bring other males into this child's life,
Yes.
so that the child can start to see models of older men in their lives.
So the other day, I gotta give a story here. I was somewhere, and there was this little girl. And she's probably like 6-7 years. I'm good with kids, so she sees me, she runs to me, says hi, and I noticed the father was very uncomfortable with that. And for a moment, I was like, "Where is so?" Like I'm like I could tell because like, come, baby, like leave that man. You know?
They felt threatened.
And I understood it because in today's society, we've had so many stories.
Yes.
But I remember thinking to myself, can we bring back the concept of community such that when I see a kid with someone, it's not as scary? Which brings me to what you're saying, because what helped me is I met a friend when I was like 18, and he really held my hand into being a man and teaching me things, including how to shower. I'm going to make a joke there.
Wait. Please say more. Without TMI.
I'm not giving a TMI here, but I also think it's important for us to be a bit raw with this one, because my mother also needed to go a bit back to school and research her life, because a couple of things were happening when I was growing up. I'm the youngest. Separations were happening and all that, so she also did not manage to be very present. So I grew up with a bit of housekeepers and all that. And one time we were sitting in a group of men and we were talking about how men shower. And I mentioned there's a part of my body that I don't wash that most men also don't, which is is it called the crack? No, most don't. And I'm very proud of it. I'm like, a man can't do that. And my friend after that walks me and he's like, "Are you actually serious?" I'm like, yeah. He's like, "Oh, you're dirty." Like, says it straight to my face. He's like, "You cannot do that." And you know, I would have gotten married not doing that. And my wife would have really suffered. But my wife would be like, "I don't know what this thing is abroad." You know, all my needs self-reliance. No, that'd be crazy. And the other incident I always remember, speaking of community, is so at some point I went through a very rough patch in life.
I'm sorry.
And I spent an evening at their house and woke up the following morning, washed my innerwears and hung them. And I noticed they were very torn. And he sat me down and told me a statement that was very powerful. This is a concept of community. He told me, as a man, before you go buy your very nice trousers and shoes and all these things, your innerwears must always be the neatest, cleanest, and best part of your outfit. A number of times I've had ladies complain about their boyfriends out here and the things they're wearing. But it's just, I think that's a concept of community and raising a man. Because the same gentleman took me for Christmas at their family one time. I was still young. I think I was around 19 at the time. And you know where I grew up? Christmas days, women would be in the kitchen cooking.
Yes.
Men are seated somewhere in a corner. They slaughter the goat
and they barbecue.
They don't even barbecue. Me, those are men were very interesting. Like they're seated somewhere. And food would be served around
at some point.
And we're all eating. Yeah. Go to this family where on 24th they sit down and they're like, "What are you making for Christmas?" They come up with a menu, all of them together. And on 25th morning, everybody is cooking. The gent, somebody's cooking chapati, someone else is cooking pilau, everybody is cooking. The community concept of that introduced a different software to my mind.
I see.
Because the manhood that I had a perception of was no longer painted as I'm the boss and I gotta sit here, but it just showed me a balance of masculinity with a degree of kindness and the understanding that we're all humans. Being a man does not make me better than a lady, and it's very subtle. Nobody needed to teach me that because I was part of a community to see it.
To observe.
So I would say it's very important we bring back that aspect, especially today, because I might not remember the statistics exactly, but I know there are a lot of single mothers who are having to raise their sons.
Correct.
And that means that especially the older men must actually realize there's a gap there. And we must do it with integrity and dignity, but also with so much love and with clarity of what manhood actually entails. Because we also don't want to instill very funny beliefs in our boys' minds in the name of community.
Correct. Yeah. And what I'm hearing from you is a child does not learn by being told what to do. A child learns by observation.
Absolutely.
So it took you to be in community spaces and engagements that you observed a certain way of life, and that now became a point of change and a point of transformation.
Absolutely. That's why I say to single mothers, you're doing an amazing job as a single mother. Please salute you for a good job. But you can never be a father to your children.
Yeah.
You can never be. They need somebody to model that picture
Yeah,
for them.
yeah.
Be it a religious organization, your family unit. So people come from very good families. You have amazing brothers.
The grandfather.
The grandfather.
Yes.
You know, whatever you can do. As hard as it is, be deliberate to recognize there's a gap, and you'll be very intentional to model. Because if you're the one modeling the picture, there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a problem because and you have to picture you're getting this man to the society, and you are the entire model they know. As good as you might be, as integral as you might be, all the value systems, you can never be a man. And I say that to all the single mothers I meet. And you have to live because it's a harsh truth again.
I see. I see. Thanks for that. And so the father absence and identity. How did father absence influence your understanding of what it means to be a man?
That's a good one. It's also a tough one. First of all, you grow up as a child and you notice the things you don't know how to do. So you feel like you have to work your way up to be in the presence of other men. The conversations you're very zero. The perceptions of life you're very zero. If they're discussing family and what a man is supposed to be in the family, like, oh really? Like, and you know, let me just for a moment say this. I understand why the 50-50 conversation is so dominant in today's society. Because typically the man is supposed to be a provider of their home. There's a structure that home is supposed to operate in. But most of us, because a good number of my mates, we did not grow up with father figures. And that's the thing. There's something it does to you, to your brain. There's something slowly grows. So I would say the absence of it when it comes to my identity is, I would say it beat my self-esteem a bit. Back to what I was saying about not knowing what first of all this thing entails. Secondly is noticing people had very present fathers, and you know, let me tell you, people with present fathers brag about it. They have paid to brag about it. Man. And the problem is when you not settle it in your heart.
And the point of acceptance that this is my reality, it bothers you.
It bothers you, especially when you're younger and you're a teen. And as men, we do not talk about it. Because nobody will, like, people will look at you like, don't you even dare mention it to somebody who's been here from the 70s and the 80s. They're like, we grew up without what are you talking about? You know, they're very, because one time, my friend and I decided to sit our mothers down and tell them, hey, so we are feeling a bit of a gap, bit of an absence. This is what we are feeling. Both of them were single mothers. Say why? Because her mother got married 2-3 years ago. And we are like, so we are feeling the absence of a father. We wanted you guys to find us some father figures. Kenyans, let me tell you, Maina. We were lectured for 1 hour straight. And we laugh about this because we tell them nowadays, both of them, my mom and her mom, they lectured us for 1 hour straight. You people provided for you, you've done this way, what do you want? You're very useless, thankless people. We grew up without, we still became, and you're thinking,
that's not what we meant.
We appreciate your providence, but there's a gap, and we are feeling it because there's something we are searching for, and you can't tell what it is. There's an approval, I can't put words to it, but there's something you're searching for, and before you notice what it is, you can find yourself in very messy situations trying to pursue a gap, because it's like a void you're trying to get something from. Yes, because we also sit with questions like, why didn't they love me? Why didn't they do this? Why like, where are you? Before you settle it, there are somewhere in your head, and there are those that never ask, but they have a gap. They have no idea what the gap is about, and people feel it through very different ways that we all know. Yeah.
Wow, that's not easy. I can only imagine. And I'm also seeing the duality of this conversation, in the sense that there's a pain and there's a vulnerability you're expressing in a need that is present and real. Now, on this other side, there's also the reality of a mom who has given everything for her children. She has sacrificed, she has worked double hard, to provide. And maybe this invitation for father figure, how it is interpreted, the interpretation looks like, are you not seeing what I'm doing?
Yes.
So sitting with the duality of the two, the mom, you're doing a fantastic job. Mom, you're making sacrifices. You're working harder than that woman who has a husband and a present dad to the kids.
Yes.
We celebrate that and we honor that.
Yes.
But then there's the aspect of the realness of the need that this young man is presenting.
Is presenting.
Yeah.
I always tell mothers, because I'm actually very passionate about the conversation of single mothers and their sons. And I always tell my mother that I'm going to write a book about her and she better be ready.
I'm not sure I don't read in public, but she better be ready. And the reason I say that, Doc, is because I think we need to understand what fatherhood and motherhood really is. They say a mother nurtures and a father brings order. And we need to take that conversation beyond resources. Because, and I love it, because in today's generation, even a woman can provide. I have seen situations and couples who very happily married ones. There's a time when the man is very down and the woman is providing.
Fills the gap.
Until the man gets back. And I've also seen where men also decide to be lazy and
They choose to take the back seat.
to take the back seat. We gotta take this conversation of being a father and a mother beyond providence. Because it also
It's
creates
a problem where there are men who are very good at providing, but they're never there. And you have to talk about the order a man brings to a family unit. And I always say compare both. I have been to homes where, especially when the kids are like toddlers, and a pathetically happy home setting. And the mother is very nice, very cutesy. They're gonna bring food to the table and all these. And then the kids start jumping around. You hear the father say, "Hey, so and so, sit down." You see how quickly those kids
Just that voice.
Yes.
When it thunders, there's immediate response.
But have you also seen, Doc, because you have boys, have you seen how when they have done something big, when you hug them against them, the father tells them, well done. The reaction is very different. Because, and you see, for a kid, they're very honest. It's like an adult. I can't fake my reaction to you. But for a kid, there's something about, there's a confidence when your boy kicks a ball and the dad says, you really did that. It's like they want to show it again. Like, did you guys see what I did? There's a confidence that backs somebody up. And we have to understand that more. And the reason I say that is because every time I see single mothers react with that, I've done this, I've done the other. I understand their pain. But I always tell them, I need you to pause for a moment
and think it through from their lens of what they're actually saying. And recognize that fatherhood is on provision. There is more to it than just providing. And that must be always very discussed in a very open manner and like very receptive manner. But I also have to say, because the other defense I hear, especially older generation mothers say, or millennials growing up like that. I speak on behalf of my Gen Zs.
Please do.
I gotta do this because I hear, and this may come off a bit harsh. I hear them say, but what is the problem with you guys? We grew up with that and became better. But did you?
Absolutely
But
not.
did you?
No, we didn't.
Because I kind of asked that because and I see so many times. And even last week I had a conversation with someone and they're like, but we also grew up without, I did not have this, I did not have this. I went through this and I'm looking at a life, I'm like, you have had a life that shows exactly what the problem of a lack of a present father created.
Correct.
So just because you are standing and you're doing good and probably have a career that's doing amazing, does not mean that you're whole.
True.
And that's why we must come down to recognizing there's a role a father plays in a home and it's not personal. And this child is not telling you, bring my father back. Because I do not think there's a single mother who sits and decides, I want to be a single mother.
Yes.
A lot of times it's situations and circumstances
circumstantial.
So don't personalize it. They're not telling you, I want my father back or resurrect them if he passed or if things didn't work back, restore the relationship. They just need somebody to guide them. They have a void. And you as the adult have to use wisdom to understand that void needs to be filled by something.
That's
and you cannot fill it because you can only do as much as a mother. Yes.
It's interesting you say that the person who we had a conversation before you is a spiritual leader and also operates very well in the creative spaces, creative arts. And when we started the conversation, he said a very profound statement. He was sired, but he was never fathered. And I told him that I've never had it said like that.
Yes.
And said the gaps, the issues I went through, and the learnings I've had to teach myself. Because there was a gap.
Yes.
And he says, my dad was there.
Yeah.
Physically present, but very absent. So I get you when you say there's siring. We don't want that. That has already happened for the child to be here.
Yes.
Now we are looking for fathers.
It's father.
And whatever shape and form they take, spiritual, cultural, uncles and aunties, whatever, let's create room and urgency for those fathers to show up.
And we must be very deliberate about it. Because what is happening in our society currently is very distant. It comes the concept of fathers. I would actually urge any spiritual leader, any father figure in a family unit, in a society, in your workspace, be very deliberate to guide with love and with integrity, so that you also don't create other problems in the society in the same thing. Because I believe when we father our sons a bit better, there's an order we're going to have in society. The cases of feminism, all these things, I always say they root back to this in very subtle. We can discuss that. It's a very sensitive conversation for another setting, but it all leads back to a societal problem that we do need to address.
Absolutely true. And so what lessons about masculinity do you wish someone had taught you earlier in life? And I know you've alluded to that.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you think you feel if there was that role field, this lesson would have been taught?
As a man, I'm automatically a leader. We can argue it all you want, but as a man, you're automatically a leader.
I see.
You're the voice of logic in every room you walk in. And leadership here does not mean, and allow me to use this word, the stupid mindset of an African setting where you are the boss and you're supposed to, and I call that because it's absurd. But it comes down to the leadership of you're supposed to show the way. I was listening to, I have a story for everything.
Please do.
It's amazing.
We learn very well through stories. I
was listening to a lady. She's a public figure in Kenya, so let me not mention the name. I was listening to her talking about how she raised her boy. And she was saying since the boy was like 5-6 years, every time he would go out to play, she would tell him, before you come to the house, make sure all the girls have gone to the houses. And she would walk them. He would rather walk them to the houses. And he would come back and report, hey mom, so it's like everybody's in the house? And they said yes. Now the boy is 20-something years, I remember when she was talking about it. And she says, till date, he does not go to bed before the siblings sleep. Till date, he still asks her about, are you okay? Did you get? Like, you can see the leadership was actually instilled. And that's what I mean by leadership. It's the taking charge, it's the protecting. Because men are supposed to protect our women in every sense. And it's supposed to be instilled from a very young. So I hope I was taught that. And the reason I say this is because, again, back to the story. One time, a lady pissed me off somewhere. And I turned to a friend of mine, a very good buddy of mine. I was like, I want to beat this lady up.
Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I grew up seeing.
I'm not judging, I'm just laughing. But I like the honesty though.
It's what I grew up. And you see something. I always say when kids are growing up, there's a software instilled in them. And they pull it out when they need it to execute as an adult. And whether you're aware of it or not, there is a software. I grew up seeing my mother getting beaten because she wore a red trouser, or we went for an event, or whatever happened. So I wanted to, and my friend, and he spoke this so subtly with so much love. And he held my hand and told me, Moses, not in your young adulthood or even as a grown man should you ever touch a woman. And he told me, the day you do, you live to regret it for the rest of existence, assuming you still have a soul. And he told me, never in your entirety do that. And that stuck with me till date. But then again, a software had been rewired, which takes me back to community. Yes.
That's so powerful. The part of unlearning, learning, relearning.
Yes.
Because there's a learning that you had, then pause. Somebody introduces a new software, and the old operating system has to be kicked out the window, and now a new voice and a new mentor, a new sound is saying, don't touch women. And that, again, the village that raises a boy or a child, you know. I love the story you gave about the boy who was told to make sure all the girls have gone back home. So some time back, I'm doing a research. And so, again, I'm very passionate about men. I've done some bit of research on men. So I was doing a research on men, and it was a very hard research to do, if I'm being honest, because men hardly talk about their pain, and then now the questions for that research were very personal. Because I was researching some very catastrophic life event. And so, but then it was very anonymous. So, but we needed to record the conversation on audio. I transcribe, then I delete the audios. But so no name is mentioned in it. So by virtue of it being recorded, a lot of men said yes. Then a day to the to the actual recording, they're like, hey, I've changed my mind. So the few that accepted to do the research with me, I really celebrate them, because they were opening up parts of them that maybe they'd never even told anybody about. But then again, as an MFT, I'm big on building families, learning on what we can do different, even as therapists, to support communities. See how I have a whole day of meeting different men in this city. because my research is in Nairobi. And then I'm the one who is doing the research. So basically it means I'm going to Thika Road, somebody's in Ruiru, another one is in Kikuyu, another one is in Mombasa Road. I come to your comfort, yes, because you're not going to inconvenience yourself.
Yes.
I am going to make it easy for you.
Yeah.
So I go meet people in different places. So the last person on the day waited for 2 hours. Now, not because I wanted to be late, but because the last person had a situation.
Okay.
Then me being the therapist,
Yes.
I couldn't leave them in that state. They got triggered.
Yes.
Then again, there's traffic in Nairobi. It was a Saturday. The experience with that man left an impact on me. So he waited.
Yes.
I got there. I'm so apologetic. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I know this is not even, and it doesn't benefit you in any way.
No, but you waited.
But you waited.
Yes.
So now, the hour I was supposed to finish, darkness fell on us. So it was, by the time we were finishing the interview, it was maybe 7:30 going 8. I'm going to the car and he comes and tells me, which direction are you going? I said, this way. He's like, okay, this is what I'll do. I'll drive in front of you and sindikisha you. I said, hey, you're going to do what?
Yes.
I am the one who came needing
Yes.
you to, tell me your story.
Yeah.
Again, this is not like midnight, 4 a.m.
Yes.
And even if it was,
Yeah.
it's not like I have struggles. There's fuel in the car.
Yes.
I know the direction I'm taking. It's not such a long distance. Like, allow me to just go home and you go home. You know what they told me? If my mother had
That's what I did.
that I left a lady at night on
Yes.
she would not want to be associated with me.
Yes.
So I believe you.
And you see, he had
Yeah.
a software operating.
Thank
He
you.
had a software operating.
Yes.
Yes.
And he didn't take me home because I wouldn't even allow it.
Yeah.
But we went to the closest petrol station and he told me, from here, I feel like you'd be good to go. And in
Yes.
5 minutes, I was home.
Good.
And that was it. But then it impacted me in a
And
very
that's a mother
serious
who
way.
taught their side
Yeah.
to retain the leadership and the protection aspect of a man in society.
Correct.
Because that has to be instilled from a very young age.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's amazing. And so here we are back to the space of this gap.
Yes.
And I'm curious to know who stepped in your life to fill some of the gaps left by your father's absence.
This is exciting. One of them is my friend. He's gonna hate it because he hates it. I tell him he's like a father figure. We've been trouble for this.
You
one.
give people flowers
Well, they're
when
still around.
that's true.
But two people did. One very closely, the other one close a distance. The friend, when I was going through this crisis in my late teenage, between 18, 19 to 20 there,
Yeah,
I would go to the house and I'd cry because first of all, I was going through a crisis.
I'm so sorry.
Two, I had discovered I don't know what being a man is.
I see.
So I'd go to his house and I would cry, dog. And I would ask him, will anything good ever come out of my life? Because I think I wasn't, because I was also going through a situation at the time, personal life and all that. And I didn't see myself becoming anything that would be worth anybody's attention in the society. And we became amazing buddies. But he began his one who still taught me how to shower, how to buy my He taught me how to match colors. Like as a man, you put black and gray. Actually, he's the one who told me when you put black, you do it with gray or dark navy blue. He started, he literally taught me how. He started taking me to stores where he would buy clothes. He started teaching me how to dress when I started going to my work, official wear. This is what you put together. This is how you speak. You don't do that as a man. I remember one time, we went to visit someone and it was a couple and I looked at the husband and I was like, hey, no menona.
Oh my days.
And they tell me,
You don't tell people things like that in public.
Even
Yeah.
people's spouses, when their spouses
Spouses
is
in the room, yeah. OMG.
I look back, I'm like, what was my problem? But he slowly started rewiring.
Wearing
He's
you.
still the one who told me, you don't beat a woman. This is how you handle women.
Yeah.
You open the door, you hold the elevator, you speak to a lady like this, be it your mother or your girlfriend or a random lady. There's a gentleness you're supposed to always carry as a man. The second one is a public figure, and allow me to give him his flowers. He's the late Bishop Alan Kuna, because I began going to church there. And he also grew up, I always used to relate my story to his, and that's why I'm very passionate about telling my own, because he grew up in a very violent home. He had stayed married for 30 years, and his wife says he never laid a hand on her.
Oh, wow.
And he says that before he started going to the unit, he really rewired his brain.
Yeah.
And I would watch him and listen to how they grew up, and I was like, I relate. I really do. And I noticed he slowly rewired my mind. And the reason I say that position became very big is every time he would hug me, I would feel like, first of all, I used to be very scared because I used to be scared of, like, he was very huge and tall, and I'd be like, this one is gonna beat me up because that's what my head knew.
Yeah.
But then that embracing of love and
care.
you go far, you young man, you'll really go far in life, you know, God, and that does something to a boy. That validation gives you some power. I think till date I have this courage that Bishop Alankuna said it. Who are you? And it's not arrogance. It's just I got some backing, and I can't put words to it. But that's the power of a father in a young man's life. They bring order, but they also wire you in the right way, and also bring an emotional safe space for you.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Because still later, usually she touch me, I'll call my friend. There you.
I am backed.
And my mother says, I mean, because it's very bold, especially because of the friend. My mother says, I have the son I have today because you met him.
Oh, wow.
That's powerful. And the reason I say that is because I would love to encourage every man, especially if you're of a certain age, hold the hand of somebody else down. Let especially because this time I was struggling with suicide, and I remember going to his house and telling him, "Me, I'm so done with life." And he made a joke. He was like, "So when are you planning to continue living?" Like, he's also very tough, but he also listened. He didn't brush it off. He didn't,
and he didn't minimize your pain.
God,
yeah.
He provided a safe space, but he also provided sobriety. He didn't entertain my pain to a degree that it became resident. He learned how to entertain the pain, but also push me to
a different direction.
And I tell men, especially as you grow older, you have a responsibility to hold the young man's hand up the ladder with love, integrity, and character. Yes.
That is so beautiful. And the two men that have been mentioned here, one is late.
Yes.
We celebrate his legacy.
Yes.
And your friend, may he receive his flowers.
Yes.
And we celebrate men like those.
True.
And I do believe because of the impact he had in your life, you will do more if you're not already doing it as far as mentoring
young man
that you made.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So allow us to see how mentorship and the kind of impact this space has had on your career.
So interestingly, Doc, most of my close mentors in my career are women.
Okay.
And that is also a replication of what lack of a father meant. Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
I grew up with a man that would beat us up really good. I used to beat with my mother together.
I'm so sorry.
And I think I actually did grow up fearing men. Till date, if a man shouts, it's like my head blocks. I can't explain what happens. And even when, if I'm in a room, I remember one time in my former organization, I was left in the office and there was this guy, he was such a nice guy. I don't even know. He's very tall, he's a rugby player. And I remember being left in the office and my head went, if this guy decided to beat me.
Oh my days.
And you know, I see that as I'm like, why would the first thing that comes to
your mind is being beaten?
Yeah. He's such a nice guy. Like I even told him the story, I think last year. He's like, he was even shocked. He was a very easy guy. But the fact that he looked like he could empower me, my head thought, what? So even growing up, even being mentored by mentors was a very big problem. I was like, no, we are not doing that. But most of my mentors are women, of them in their almost their 50s. You know, like people say I'm having issues, but sorry for another day. Mentorship draws a picture of possibilities for you. But mentorship also paves way and creates a platform for you to execute. And the reason I talk about possibilities is because I mentioned the late Bishop. He created the possibilitization of, I might have grown up in a violent home, but that doesn't need to be my story.
Yeah.
He created a picture of what a good marriage looks like, of what a family unit is supposed to function like. I have another mentor that paved my way into my career. She literally would tell me, when I'm making decisions, I would call her, be like, what do you think about this? She's like, that's funny money, you can't take that up. And sometimes she would tell me, Moses, it's time for this. I remember when I was resigning my previous role, I went to her and I was like, I think it's time to move. She said, yes, it is time.
Oh.
You've done enough.
She already could tell your seasons were shifting. Yeah.
And I started with her and told her my fears and everything. She was like, let's analyze them. Let's break them down.
Yeah.
And you see, as I said, they pave way for you. But they also create a platform and they show you a picture of the possibilities that you're supposed to achieve going forward.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So, have you noticed any strengths that you've developed because of the challenges you faced growing up?
I am very tender when it comes to male issues.
I see.
Recently, someone around me lost a loved one. And I took an afternoon to go see them. And we spent time there. We went, had food, we had everything. And I remember him saying, this is so kind of you. But you see, it made my heart tender, because one of the things I noticed when I was going through challenges in life, or the crisis as well, is that more often than ever, we do not have a society that allows you to be a weak man. And I quote weak here because it's I'm down. I need somebody to help me pick up. You will hear your mother say, you're a boy, get up and go. You know. My mother used to say she's not tiring lazy children. So I grew up knowing that I must always be doing something. I cannot be lazy. Like sleeping is being lazy. Because when you're sleeping and you sleep for like hours, you're like, I'm not bringing up, lazy. And your boys in our family, bring up lazy boys here. So I thought sleeping is being lazy. I didn't realize you can actually just rest. And the strength for me, and I call it a strength because it made me very, very tender. I'm very quick to go and pick up. Your business is down. Let's rebuild this. You need to do a career, go back for this. You're going through divorce or something. I want to come see you. And my friends know it. If you tell me, even before I came here, I had to see a friend earlier this morning because they're a bit unwell. They told me yesterday, hey, I'm a bit unwell. This is happening. I rushed 30 minutes. It's like, hey, I got 30 minutes on my schedule. I have a few things happening from 2 p.m., but I need to see you. It made me very tender.
Amazing.
And I believe because of that, there are people around me who have managed to stand and hey, I love you. And I love you very dearly.
That's so beautiful. Yes. In all honesty, my definition of masculinity, true strength in a man, comes from a balance of being able to do what physical strength is in a man, coupled with the vulnerable, tender side inside. And that, for me, I find very attractive. Because you do not have to exercise strength by being the one who yells, the one who bullies. I feel that strength and masculinity go hand in hand with, yes, the physical strength to do stuff that a woman cannot do or may struggle to do, but then the ability to also be human, soft, and that part for me, I always celebrate when I see it in men.
I love it as well. The mental strength of a man.
Beautiful. Now that we are discussing mental health and emotional well-being, you've talked about suicide.
Yes.
Do you want to say more about that kind of a struggle?
So the thing is, again, I was going through personal issues that I want to go to many details about. But first of all, when you were growing up, and I say that because nowadays I give my mother flowers, because she has really done a bit of work on herself. We laugh about it in the family, but you could not go and tell her you want to die because you would explain what part of this food in the, you know back in the days. Everything in the home setting was interpreted from the lens of provision.
That's true.
This food, you have a roof, so why do you want to die?
That's actually how we all were raised.
This food, why would you want to die? And I'm thinking, is food and a roof all that there is? But I went through a situation and I felt like nobody was getting me. Nobody was listening. There was no love. Do people even love or care about me? And you see, the thing is, I gotta say this because that had two parts to it. There's the part that was my work, because growing up with the rejection of a father made me grow up with this thought of there's no love. But even it's there, I was so rooted in that pain that I could not see the possibility of it now. But at the same time, people were also not comprehending what was happening around me, because I have a bit of a strong personality and a very vibrant personality. And sometimes when I say, hey guys, I'm not okay, my friends are at least get it.
They've learned you.
Like, oh, you that was jumping up around. Like, what are you not okay about?
They don't get that.
What is the problem? You're doing good. Like, I just say, hey guys, I'm good. Like, they actually get it. Because probably I learned to also let them. But I remember May 2024 being like, I'm done.
I'm so sorry.
I'm done. I wanted to check out, and I was ready for it. I wanted to jump off rooftop from 8th floor down, and I knelt on my knees to say my final prayer to Father, goodbye, and somehow I dozed off. I call that a miracle. I always say, if I did not believe there's God, that I would have believed there's God. But I bounced back. And I remember calling my friend again that I talked about, and we went and sat down and started talking about the things that were happening and all that. And here I am, years later. But that was a difficult one.
Wow,
and
that can't be easy.
For a man, I always say, we have an ego.
Yeah.
For the smart, good men, they learn how to manage the ego. But every man has an ego. And if that ego is cracked, crushed. And it's crushed by very interesting things. It's rejection from a nice lady somewhere. It's the lack of resources to take care of certain things. It's an ability. There's nothing that crushes a man. There's an ability to take care of self financially. I don't know about that. Even the family ones I hear them say, but even I even get to a point where I what do you mean I cannot afford a meal by myself? And I'm a whole man standing like this. Because again, you know, that also defines. So I'd say, yeah, I struggled with that. Really some good times. Even when I was in high school, I remember I also a bit of struggle with that. It was coming from the family happening.
Dynamic.
Yes.
I see. And so what would you say are the things that ground you? Because you've gone through, you know, the extreme lows.
Yes.
You know, you've also experienced epic highs. And I'm here curious about your values.
Yeah.
What grounds you for you to have made it through such tumultuous seasons of life?
My faith. My faith really grounds me. Another story.
I love stories. We can be here the whole day.
I called my friend one time. My friend was talking about. I'm like, hey man, how are you doing? Fine, thank you. I was crying. I'm like, just, you know, if there was a father, I don't think I would be going through this. I was really in pain. And he tells me, hey Moses, because he's an orphan and he was brought up by the grandmother. He was a bit young and then the aunt took over at some point. And he tells me, hey Moses, when my mother died, my grandmother sat me down. And those words made me tear up. And she told me, your mother is no more, your father is no more. And myself and your grandfather will try to do our best to raise you to the best of our knowledge ability. But I want you to know, even if love will fall short, and I want you to know there's a Father in heaven who never fails.
Profound.
And all the days of your life, God is a perfect Father who will fail you. And that statement knocked the
I love that.
It introduces a fatherhood of God to me, and my faith got so rooted. I think till date, and my friends will say, even in chaos, you know, a few weeks ago I had my laptop stolen and everybody was thinking, are you not mad? I'm just going to have another one. I think my faith got to a point where I'm like, that began a good work in me.
Yeah,
He's
faithful to bring it to completion.
That roots me. The second thing is community.
Yeah.
And by community, I mean I have amazing friends. If I start talking about them, we're going to have another 1 hour here.
Your body language has shifted.
I always say I'm loved.
Oh, I believe you.
Loved.
I believe
I have
you.
amazing friends.
Yeah.
Every single time I'm doing something big, especially for the past 1 year, they've been amazing. They always show up in the room when I'm doing a talk, I'm doing an event, I have a big win, I have a graduation coming up, they all there, I hear the plan is something amazing.
Oh.
And I think that for me grounds me because it reminds me, they fuel me, they pour into me every single time. And community also goes to my mentors because every single time I look like I'm wavering, they're like, hey, you get your act together. And every single time I need a back to lean on, my friends are there to hold me. And because even this year, starting of this year, I went through a bit of a tough situation there, and my friends are there to again hold me up.
Wow.
And partly is my vision. And walk with it and carry it with me because I believe the African voice must be heard to the highest degree possible to the globe. And there are people who might do that, but African is by talking about it, and the people who do it by so much refining their skills and their sharpening themselves that they introduce Africa to the global stage with integrity once again and with character. Yes.
You know, I marvel at your story. Like, you don't look your age, you don't sound your age. Well, you look your age, you don't sound your age. If that makes sense.
People tell me I look like I'm in my early 30s. I don't know that. I've lost weight. Nowadays I look like I'm 21.
No, actually, for me, it's the wisdom and the confidence you exude.
Thank you.
It's what I'm really, really intrigued by.
Yes.
Yeah, and I feel that these conversations need to be had. You need to become really active in your mentorship journey. I believe you're already doing that.
Yes.
But that seed that was already planted, you make me want to meet your community, your friends. My God, can they become my friends as well? Anyway, that's on a light note.
No, I don't want them. I'm not hiring them.
They are yours to keep. I go make mine.
They're to go make yours, please.
I love that.
Men's mental health, man, they are mine.
They're yours. I believe you. And I'm glad let them receive their flowers. We celebrate them and we honor what they've done and the role that they've played. Now that you're looking at leadership, because you're truly a leader in your own right, how do you feel that you lead differently based off your experiences?
I love that one. First of all, is with compassion. But I want to come back to compassion last because I want to say something before compassion. Because the first one, I would say, is with clarity of the results that you need to achieve. And I say that because, Doc, sometimes when you've been broken so much, two things happen. You either become very bitter, which means you're very harsh with people, or you also become too tender because you're living from the place of your pain and you want to give people different so much that you forget. The reason I talked about that balance is because you have to understand there are results that need to be given, there are things you need to achieve, but you're also dealing with humans. And that's where compassion comes in. This is a human being, and you have to be cognizant of that. But you also have to realize just because you are human does not negate certain values that your mothers carry with you. If you steal, that is just lack of character. I can be compassionate with you exiting because that is so I always make a statement that if someone can steal 20 shillings from you,
they can steal
20
a million
from you.
That's true.
They can. So you have to choose the other round. But I think for me, it taught me to have a balance between both. Be compassionate as a human being, but also be very keen that we deliver the results that are desired. And the other thing I would also say is I do leadership with not just me in mind, but also you in mind and the society at large in mind. Whatever decision you make must always influence every person around in a positive manner if they're willing to receive it. Because the thing about leadership you have to be very open and willing to understand is that you can still do your best.
And they won't take it.
And they'll still not take it.
Absolutely.
So dissociating yourself is very important. But I'm saying the second thing, the other thing I'm very keen on is impact. Impact. Not just moving and doing things, but impact to generations to come or those around.
You're already thinking of legacy.
Yes.
I love that the former person I was in this on this set with talked something powerful that if today you're even being given a position as a CEO to lead, start thinking of the person who will come after you. The power of, it's cyclical. Life is so cyclical that you're already here doing well and you've been given a role to lead. Are you already looking for your next in line?
We're talking of mentorship and leadership. In my former organization, I used to moderate. And when I resigned, the HR asked me when I was leaving, hey, have you raised another moderator for us? And right there, Doc, I noticed I had failed. I had failed. It took humility to admit that I had done an excellent job. Everybody would remember Kakoa was here. He did good at moderating. He did an excellent job. I still got gigs and all that, but I failed
at getting somebody to grooming the next person.
My contingency plan was zero. I had come done a good job, left. That is not leadership.
Whoa.
That is just you executing your gift.
That is so
everything I do now, and I replicate myself very fast. In every institution organization I go into, I try to replicate myself as fast as possible. We are doing this, even religious organizations where I am, because the things I do there, I quickly bring people up that in my absence, yes, you will feel it, because again, if you can't feel my presence, then I better not be there. But also, when it comes to the execution of what needs to be done, everything just continues going on as so I'm there.
I'm so loving this. I'm being given a signal, our time is up. And I remember once a mentor told me, if your absence is not felt, your presence was never needed in the first place.
Stay home and sleep.
Yes, so I love that. So we are looking at closing reflections.
Yes.
If you could speak directly to a young man who feels disadvantaged because of the way he grew up without a father, what would you tell him? And that I would want you to look at the camera.
I would say it's okay. It's okay. Life happens. Not what we wish or would have wanted, but life happened. And embrace your pains as well as you embrace your good things. Embrace it, own it, and say this actually happened. And then secondly, start turning it to something good. Give your pain purpose. Man aside, because I grew up in a very violent home, is that in my 40th birthday, I'm launching a home for single mothers who have been abused in their families and are trying to survive.
Oh, wow.
Give your pain and mean it. Own it to you. And then thirdly, keep the hope. Keep your dreams. And this, you do it by learn to sit by yourself alone and ask yourself the simple question of, what do I want? And just be as honest as you want. And then pursue that and carry with it. It gives you a reason to wake up and smile, even when the pain is very much. Yes.
Oh, that is so powerful.
Thank you.
So the last parting shot is for men in general. This being a month for you guys. Give the world a message for the men.
For the men, hi fellow gents, this is what I would say. Let us build a community around ourselves. There's so much love. I think men who are taught to walk with us buffed up thing and all that, but I would encourage us to love on each other as much as we can. Let your brothers know that you're with them, that whatever they need, you're gonna show up for them. Be there for your brothers' weddings, and be the guy carrying the sufurias around or arranging the tents, but show the love. As long as it's there, show it in the most authentic manner that you can, and at the same time let's hold each other accountable to everything, and let us also raise the younger guys way better. We gotta solve some of these societal problems that keep going around, but we have to stay sober and make sure that we also raise a very sober generation going forward. But to all the men, you're doing amazing. I love you all, and keep the good job. Yes,
Well done, well done. That was powerful. That was a season or a session with Moses Kakoa, a very young guy who is doing amazing things in this country and beyond.
Thank you.
Global leader. I watched a TEDx talk somewhere,
yes, thank you. It was amazing.
and I'm like, wait a minute, you're no longer local.
No. So now there's people ask me how I'm like, I'm international.
We celebrate your international influence, and thank you for sharing your narrative. I recognize that it's not easy to talk about some of the stories you talk about.
Yeah.
But it also talks about healing.
Yes.
Whenever you're able to talk about your pains from a place of, I went through, I struggled with this, you're not there, you're on this side.
Yes.
Healing looks like being able to talk about it with ease and freely. When you're not able to talk about it, you're still struggling. So we celebrate the resilience and the journey of growth and healing. So asante sana, we come to the end of our session. Until we meet again, ciao for now.